Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today, I'm bringing you another double reaction, and this time it's to Need to Breathe. We're going to be checking out the songs Temporary Tears, which features a new artist, Foy Vance, and then we'll be checking out the song Bottom of a Heartbreak. It kind of feels like both of these tracks are coming from a rather emotional place, talking about tears and heartbreak, so I've kind of prepared myself for that. But it's Need to Breathe. I'm excited for more beautiful melodies, singing cohesive and energetic tracks. And that is all thanks to Craig the Creative for making this donation request today. Thank you very much, Craig. Helps to support the channel and guides the direction for reactions I do over here. So now, let's quickly jump in. I like that guitar tone already.
Somewhere it's raining on someone you loving. Counting the days down till it's gone. Praying for a change, don't know when it's coming. Want everything back just the way it was. In this world of hurt, no one deserves to drown in all these fears. Oh joy, oh joy.
That little run right there.
Fears, oh joy.
Also, I'm noticing visually, right, the smoke, it itself is symbolizing something that's temporary, because smoke doesn't maintain its form forever. It is there. It takes shape, it looks cool, and then eventually it dissipates in the atmosphere, much like the idea of something that is temporary. And the hope is that these tears, even though it's important to feel negative emotions and, that allows the spice of life to exist, and you can then compare the good times to the bad and whatever, we don't want to be sad and sorrowful forever.
Oh joy, come roll away these temporary tears. Oh joy, don't you leave me, just say you'll leave me here. Oh joy, come roll away these temporary tears.
All the strings finding their way. Of course, adding emotion.
Hard to hear. Hidden hallelujah.
The hidden hallelujah.
Forgotten the words, it's been so long. Second you feel.
Whatever that bottoming out effect was, that gave me chills.
Second you feel, let it speak on through you, sing over you just like a song. In this world of hurt, no one deserves drowning all these fears. Oh joy, come roll away
The background choir. That mist and that cloud.
In this world of hurt, no one deserves to drown in all these fears. Oh joy,
Oh, the layering
these
there.
temporary tears. Oh joy, don't you leave me. Just say you'll leave me here. Oh joy, oh come roll away these temporary tears.
Oh my gosh. Perfectly atmospheric. It's like every element in this track was geared towards providing an emotional atmosphere, from that guitar tone from Bear's vocals to the very, I don't even think there were much like activity rhythmically. It was all like energetically in the strings, in the guitar, in the melody, in the choir, in the multiple vocal layers, and how all of those things fit together. And that's something too that's interesting to think about, is often it feels like we in a band need every single instrument, but it doesn't have to be as reductive as that. You can look at the different roles each instrument is playing. So for example, if we just took a very simplistic look at what drums do, they provide a lot of structure and rhythm to the certain sections of the song, maybe emphasizing certain elements more than the other, being the scaffolding around. But functionally, you could create some similar feeling with the way you space out the guitar playing, for example, or the patterns in the vocal delivery. If I say a word in a certain cadence, regardless of if there's a drum track behind me or not, if I'm saying a sentence rather, you're going to feel a different kind of way about it. If I quicken the way that I speak or I slow it down, right, there's a lot of, that idea of like iambic pentameter. You can apply that as well to any of the music that you're playing outside of drums and still create a kind of drum-like effect, because BPM is not exclusive to drums, for example. So that was just a roundabout way of me saying this track didn't really have a lot of emphasis on percussion, on rhythm in the obvious sense. Most of that was captured by the way that these tracks were layered. So then my focus then becomes the emotional feeling. And for me, like, my nerve endings get lit up hearing certain just effects in general, when it feels like the emotions of the singer, of the musicians, are being expressed adequately and pushing the upper limits of what you feel in that current moment. It almost helps unlock those feelings within you, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe there's like a science behind why we get goosebumps listening to amazing music. I haven't looked into that ever. I just experience it anecdotally and share that with y'all. That's a great way to start this one out, though. Temporary Tears. Let's jump into the next track.
Gonna tear it down, all my childhood gates. I'm gonna wake up to a brand new day. I don't need another love to make me feel okay. I just need a lot of time and a little space.
You need a heal.
Now I'm shaking in my bones.
Oh, with the keys right there. Da, 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 da. The chords underneath just perfectly silver lining that delivery. I'm gonna go back.
Space. Now I'm shaking in my bones.
I love that, just that styling.
How my body knows.
And again.
There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to say. I'm feeling trapped with no escape.
See, the thing is, this chorus here, it's reserved, but I know the second time around, the third time around, it's going to pop off. It has all the makings of a pop-offable chorus.
I want to be well. I wish I could change. There's nowhere to hide where you feel safe. At the bottom of a heartbreak.
Nice. Kind of sparse in terms of instrumentation, but again, it's filled by the elements that are there.
Pain, staring in my face. It's a different ghost, but it haunts the same.
Again, minimal emphasis on the drumming.
No looking back. I gotta learn to love right where I'm at. And now I'm shaking in my bones.
I love that line. I can't move on, no looking back. Because it's recognizing, well, I am going to be the version of me now that has experienced this level of heartbreak, and looking back endlessly is not going to serve me either. It's kind of like the healing process. It's requiring this level of acceptance of that hurt and pain to be able to then properly process it. And you can never now live a life where that heartbreak never occurred. You have to kind of let those wounds now heal, and if you're going to learn to love again, you're going to have to do so from that more wounded and vulnerable place. But the thing is, I think it's very beautiful to have quote unquote an imperfect loving journey. Now, of course, ideally, I say ideally, but ideally we don't have to deal with heartbreak. But terrible things happen in life, and oftentimes these terrible things that happen to us give us the opportunity to learn and grow. And it's like character building, right? So if we flip all of these negatives that happen to us as opportunities for growth, that can at least be a way to reframe a lot of the terrible things that do happen. It's not going to necessarily take the emotional pain away from those terrible things occurring, but it at least helps you put it into a logical perspective that could be more positive. And of course, on this channel, we preach peace, love, and positivity. And oftentimes that positivity, it's looking at the bright side of things rather than overly fixating on the negative. You could make the point that it's a bit more optimistic rather than pessimistic, but I've always viewed my own life from a very pragmatic, from a real perspective, and to still hope despite the terrible real things that may occur. So I kind of live this world of realism/optimism, but the root is in realism, and then I try to look at the bright side of things. Hopefully that makes sense too.
I'm shaking in my bones.
My bones.
It's crazy how my body knows. There's nowhere to go.
Oh, there it is.
There's nothing to say.
The emotional outpouring.
I'm trapped with no escape. I wanna be well. I wish I could change. There's nowhere to hide where you feel safe. At the bottom of a heartbreak. Sometimes I think that if I climb that hill, I wouldn't need to come down. Sometimes we're so high that we cannot feel when there is love all around.
this payoff is everything.
My childhood gaze, I'm gonna wake up.
I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna wake up as the last line. Wow. It's like full circle. There was this level of heartbreak, all of the childhood scars that I've worn and had to deal with up until this point, and now I'm at the very bottom, right? And once you're at the bottom, hopefully there's no further bottom, and once you've hit rock bottom, that's when you can start to grow and find your way out of that hole and build the life for yourself that you know you deserve. And oftentimes we keep ourselves at the bottom through self-delusion without even realizing it, doing the behaviors, having the thought patterns, maintaining this subconscious even feeling about ourselves that keeps us suppressed emotionally. And it is so difficult to deal with emotions, and I'm still in the process of learning about emotions, and I think that is just a lifelong human journey. But you're not going to process them if you don't feel them at all. And for me, this is just like me kind of sharing a bit about myself, but I had the hardest time ever being able to express my own emotions. Nowadays, at least I can intellectualize them more, but still sometimes expressing them can be very, very challenging. And if you're not allowing yourself to feel those emotions, you're never going to be able to properly process them because they become bottled up, right? If you just put things under the rug, right, that common idiom, it's not going away. It just piles up underneath that rug and makes things harder for you to walk above, and it makes your room dirtier, and it keeps things in a place of stagnation rather than growth. And this song, to me, it does two things. It recognizes the level of heartbreak that one individual has felt, but it also reframes that heartbreak as an opportunity to change, to grow. You can no longer hide from yourself. You must feel safe to reach this level of inner peace rather than existing in constant emotional turmoil, even though you have a damn good reason to feel that inner turmoil. So once you're at the bottom of this heartbreak, trying to tear it down, trying to, what is that quote? The only way out is through. Push through those emotions, accept them, understand them, allow them to envelop you, really allow them to overwhelm you, and then come to once again. There's this like dance, it's this constant like emotional muscle we need to train. And I kind of started to look at it from that perspective as well, because I have been recently just getting more and more into like intermittent meditation throughout the day, just like taking 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever I have, really to focus on my breathing and quiet my mind, quiet my thoughts, and become more present. And it becomes very challenging to maintain perfect focus. And what I try to do is I try to visualize a candle with a flickering flame in a black room, maybe on top of a stool, but really a minimalist environment, just so that I can control my mind and quiet thoughts and whatever, right? Gain that control. It is very hard to do so, but each rep, if you will, in training that muscle is realizing that your attention has gone away from your breath, has gone away from that candle, is starting to think about the day and the stresses and whatever, recognizing it and then refocusing. That attempt to refocus is the functional rep, as if you were hitting like a bicep curl, and the concentric movement on the way up would be the version of that rep. Anyways, I hope that all made sense. I know I went down a couple of different lines of thinking today, but Need to Breathe always has me in my thoughts, trying to understand better my own emotions. And that's the hallmark of a band that is thought-provoking and speaks to you emotionally. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did and would like to request one yourself, whether it's Need to Breathe or any other band for that matter, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. That's the best way to directly support my channel. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.